In the overview video, we introduced the 5-layer conceptual architecture for XenApp and XenDesktop. In this segment, we introduce the management layer that is made up of the delivery controller and its administrative consoles known as the studio and the director. One of the first things you will want to try after the environment is installed is delivering desktops and applications to your users to get a feel for the user experience when accessing an available resource, as well as the admin experience for creating and delivering those resources. If we refer back to our conceptual architecture, we use the studio to define our resource layer via the creation of machine catalogs, as well as the user layer by defining delivery groups. Let's have a look at the studio interface now. This is a new environment with no defined catalogs or delivery groups. The only thing that has been defined are the controllers and licensing servers from the control layer of our conceptual architecture and the items within the hardware layer, such as our hosting platform, which is Xen Server. With the environment ready, the first step is to create a machine catalog, which is based off an image that we already built. This master image is simply a configured operating system with the right applications for our organization and the XenDesktop Virtual Delivery Agent, also known as the VDA. The first thing we will set up is a machine catalog for pooled Windows 7 desktops running on Xen Server. We start the process by selecting Create Machine Catalog from the Action menu. The first part of the wizard allows you to determine the type of desktops you will deliver, whether server OS, desktop OS, or remote PC access. We will go with desktop OS as we are delivering Windows 7. As for the image deployment, we are using machine creation services to automatically provision multiple desktops. We now select the master image for this purpose. As we saw earlier, this image is already installed with the operating system, apps, and the XenDesktop VDA. We define how many virtual desktops we need, as well as the VM specs for the CPU and RAM. You will typically put these desktops into their own OU within the Active Directory, which is what we will do here. We end by giving a name to the catalog. Once we select Finish, XenDesktop will create a copy of our image and build the number of virtual desktops that we specified. The first time creation from a new image will take a few minutes, so while this executes, we continue building our environment. The next catalog will be a group of virtual servers that are used to host Windows-based apps. As you will see, the catalog creation process is almost identical to the other catalog we created, except that we select a server operating system. We continue to use machine creation services for our image deployment and select the pre-built server master image this time. We decide how many VMs we need, remembering that a single server OS can support many users, while a desktop OS can only support one user per VM. Finally, we give this catalog a name as well. Once the catalogs are created, the next step is to deliver these to the appropriate users via delivery groups. Let's recall that a delivery group is just a group of users who are entitled to receive a particular catalog. A simple wizard leads us through the setting up of the delivery groups. We begin by selecting Create Delivery Group from the Action pane. We first need to select the machine catalog as well as the number of machines from this catalog that will belong to this particular delivery group. The next part of the wizard allows us to decide if we are delivering a desktop, apps, or both. For our Win 7 catalog, we are just delivering a desktop. We now identify what user groups can receive these desktops. They can access the default App Store, or you may customize your own. The final part of the wizard is to provide a display name that users see in their App Store. We also give an administrative name to this delivery group. To publish apps, we add another delivery group, this time using our Windows Server 2012 catalog. As you see, the wizard is the same. However, when we get to the delivery type section, we select desktops and apps. We now have a new part of this wizard called applications. This allows us to select the applications running on this image that we want to deliver as a published app. Published apps are different in that you don't see the desktop interface. You simply see an application interface as if it were installed locally. We follow the steps as before to finish creating the application delivery group. So that concludes our introduction to the friendly wizards in Studio that make it very easy to deliver desktops and apps to end users. We utilize machine catalogs to help us define the resource layer of the conceptual architecture, and we use delivery groups to define the user layer. With Studio, the admin can easily build what they designed.